Hello everyone, so today I'm gonna add a couple more photos from this shoot with Bula Baby, and I just posted this photo from my Instagram, and this is my Instagram. This photo I'm gonna try to go through the editing process, and I edited this photo from the Canon EOS R raw file, compressed raw file, and this is the edited file. I'm gonna reset it to the original. So this is the original, and I'm gonna start from here. So I added a little bit of warm tone for this one. I'm gonna start from scratch just to show you my editing process. Let me turn on my tablet. So I added a little bit more warm tone than the original. So the original, you can see that is as short like this. It's colder, but I'm adding a little bit more warm to the photos. Slightly reduce the exposure, increase the contrast, highlight safe. Shadow, I want a little bit more detail in here, so and you don't have to do it a lot right now. What I can do is I can do the shadow maybe around 14 in here, just slightly a little bit of touching in here. You don't have to be a lot, so I just want to have some subtle more detail in here. So this is one of the things you can do. You don't have to blow out the whole shadow in the whole picture. And this is just my editing process, just to document my editing process. So the black can create a little bit more contrast in here, and let me see, the white, if you stand out a little bit more on the white. Slightly reduce the clarity a little bit. The haze, maybe slightly dehaze. Vibrant. So in order to achieve a nice retro, I'm gonna reduce the saturation. So the overall saturation in fact here, and then the vibrant, I'm gonna just add a little bit vibrant, the saturation, so that it creates a nice retro look in this photo. So for the tone curve, I'm gonna try make it higher so that it has a nice moody fade. So it creates a moody in here, but because the main mid-tone is too bright, I'm gonna drag it down the mid-tone a little bit, slightly drag it down, and then drag down the shadow. So as you can see that it's coming to similar vibe in here. So these two steps are really important on the toning in here. And let me drag it down. As I'm dragging down, I'm looking through here as well as looking through here as well. Just have different reference points. So okay, so this is good. And for those of you who wants a warmer feed, you can add it slightly even warmer, but if it's too warm, it has a totally different vibe in here. So I'm gonna stick with a slight warm in here. So if you forgot, you can do it back here and then slightly increase, like if you forgot your initial shot point. So here it gets a little bit dark in here already, so you can click back here, just click on this shadow points, slightly increase a little bit, not too much. You can just see the difference. So just slightly a little bit of more light in here, or you can increase the exposure. Let me see. Okay, so that's fine. Let me see. As I'm dragging the mid-tone, and I'm gonna play one more point, drag it down more. The rule of thumb is don't pass the initial point don't pass the second point. So as I'm dragging it down, just create a smooth curve in here. And you can see the top. I'm gonna do a 4x5 crop in here. Just 4x5. So cropping 4x5 like this. Okay. So this gives you an overall general moody tone in here. So after you finish this one, just copy. I'm gonna copy. There are a couple more pictures that I haven't edited. So this one also, you can see the white is very bright in here. So let's see how it goes with this one. Okay, I applied the one that I have without any adjustment in here. I'm gonna pull out the shadow a little bit more, so this time it's just in general the shadow. You can see that as the shadow pulling out, the white also getting brighter. So I'm gonna leave it at 30 something, and then do the brush again, this time around 18. Let's make it slightly brighter, so just the overall tone in here. You can see that if you do it too bright, it might be it's fine. Let me try 35 in here and reduce the highlights. You can reduce the highlight from here also. As you drag this down, the white, it gets not that bright. So, and you can adjust this one. Okay, so let me do a crop to see how it goes. 4x5 for Instagram. This slightly a little bit of distraction to me, so I'm gonna crop down this adjustment, slightly crop down that one. Okay, so let me see the eyes. I might create a little bit more shadow in here in the eyes area. Let me check. Okay, so I'm gonna add some clarity in back to the central eyes. So not too much, maybe 8 in here. So you can click the O just to see how it goes. So the O overlay, can see what was the overlay in here. Maybe 11, around 11. So let's click here, come back. Overall, let me check. I'm gonna increase the contrast a little bit more. Highlight save. Okay. So I can play around with the split toning as well. So, but I might just adjust slightly, a little bit, but not too much. And also the red in here, I can increase a little bit. And you can play around with the skin tone. So usually the orange is in charge of the skin tone. You can add a little bit more skin tone. Luminant. Just slightly a little bit more luminant, so it feels brighter in here. The dark, let me check. Okay, so I think I can add a little bit more tighter to the car. So I like retro cars. So that day, these are the tour company in San Francisco, and we were walking on the street, and then we found that, oh, they were waiting for, like, they only have 15-minute gap, they said. So they allow us to do the shoot just for 10 minutes. I think only 8 minutes or 10 minutes we did these shoots. It's pretty fast. So okay, the mid-tone I'm gonna adjust a little bit brighter. Okay, so that looks good to me. And except the exposure, I'm gonna reduce a little bit more, and the highlight save. Okay, so let me smooth this out just to see how it looks. So I'm gonna use the Portraiture 3 and then smooth this out slightly. You can see the shadow of the leg in here also, but it's hard to identify what is the object right there. So I'm gonna select the skin color and then save it, edit. So it looks pretty smooth to me. And if you see any dots or pimple, you can use the spot removal tool. I have shown the removal tool before, so let me go back to 4x5, slightly adjust a little bit more. I think this is good. So this is just doing some minor adjustments, just really minor adjustments. And I think this is looking good to me. And then I'm gonna Command Shift E, just export 100% to the laptop. Once this is done, I go back to the CR3 compress raw file, copy this one because the next one is similar. Let me check. So this one, the red seems more red in this photo. Is darker red. So let me try to paste it. It's good. A little bit darker in the shadow, but overall from the same tone copied over to here, it looks pretty good to me. It has a nice like forest vibes. I'm gonna slightly adjust the angle because you can see that the car has to be perpendicular. The car. Let me go back to 4x5. So Instagram crop. Leave a little bit more room in the back and within the frame with the hand as well. So you can do it like that. And the HSL control about the red. As you can see that as you drag the red, it changes. You can make it more toward the pink color also, slightly more toward the pink, and then you add a little bit more. So it has a more solid vibes. You can change up here as well, but I'm gonna do it very slightly because it's overall is a retro image. I can see that it's still slightly tilted. Let me slightly change up, and then okay, so I'm looking at here also. So this gives you a far away view. It looks pretty good. The composition, the leading lines converging to the end. So I like this type of photos. The leading line photo. You can see that my leg got reflected in here also, but it's hard to see because it's the dark color. I wonder if what happened if I desaturate it. Yeah, that's fine. So you can desaturate it, the blue also, if you want less color to appear. And let me see if there any green here. Not much green. So I think overall this is good to me. Slightly minus the yellow saturation. Edit, let me add it in Portraiture 3 pretty quick. I like the good vibes in these photos. So let me do a quick edit on the Portrait 3. So most of the time I just select the skin color, just select one portion of the skin color. It looks pretty good to me. Let me save, export this out. What I do next is also similar, so I'm gonna do copy the next one, and then this one the eyes are in focus as well. So this is using the latest IAF from the Canon EOS R after the update. So I'm gonna reduce the exposure a little bit, reduce the highlight a little bit more. I might increase the fade in here as well, so because it can create a nice, like, let me slightly reduce the midtone so that it's not too strong in here. Overall it feels good to me. Doing a 4:5 crop in here. Just the room of the window, it has a nice reflection in this photo as well, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. It has a nice triangle in here, so I like to use a triangle as a composition, and then it has another triangle in here as well. So if you want slightly more light in front, I usually do the shadow just a little bit touch in here, but this is 6, let me see, 7, just slightly a little bit touch of shadow in here, and then the shadow. Okay, so just very small touch of shadow, not too much, not too obvious, very subtle. And so that's it. And then I'm gonna do a quick edit, save, and then it will pop up. I'm gonna do a select color, save this one, and looks pretty good to me. The eyes are looking good, and then export the same file to the same location so that I can upload to the Dropbox as well. So these are my quick edits on 3 different files, and this one started from this one and then going through the similar locations. So the first one probably spent like 8 minutes. The next one is about 3 minutes each after successfully adjusting the color that I like. You can adjust the different warm color temperature and tint from here based on your feed consistency. Like if you want more cool color consistency in your feed, you can just make it more blue toward the white balance. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more video coming up. Bye.